So for this camp, in any given day, Ryan wakes up and he runs like Forrest Gump. And he doesn't have to, but he does.
How you feel?
Amazing.
He said 7 punches not gonna do it. I said, if you didn't put in the contract that I can't throw more than 7 punches, then I'd throw more than that.
Because Ryan is an elite fighter, he's a knockout artist, among the best fighters in the world today. They want to take every step to try to control the amount of strength he's going to have.
Ryan, just 2 days, right?
Yeah. Just like one day he like forgot his tampon, he just started bleeding all over the place. So yeah. 52 years, bro. And it's in the hood, bro. It hasn't closed down yet. You know why? Because this place.
Ryan's fast as shit. Ain't nobody gonna say Ryan's not one of the fastest fighters. And I look way faster at 47, way more explosive, way more durable.
Ryan Garcia is grinding relentlessly in training camp, leaving no room for distractions. With Rolando Romero working alongside him, the two are fine-tuning his focus, sharpening his speed, and building his confidence as he gears up for a showdown with Mario Barrios.
Hey, go forward now. Yeah. Ahí, ándale, pico, arriba, abajo y arriba. Arriba, abajo, eso. Adelante y atrás. Échale, hijo, 5 minutes here. A ver, and one.
Ryan Garcia is emphasizing speed and power throughout his training camp, refining his skills with relentless work and dedication each day.
Una, dos, tres. Y luego 4 y 5. Las que están haciendo las 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Y aquí. Okay. Igual, ya. 3, 4, 5. Y ahora. After. 3, 4, 5.
Rolando Romero has joined Ryan Garcia's training camp, bringing intensity to every session while helping sharpen his speed, power, and focus through relentless dedication. Ryan Garcia stresses the value of surrounding himself with positive, experienced individuals in camp, ensuring he stays motivated, disciplined, and fully focused on the task ahead.
He's tired of feeling down that day. We're picking each other up.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
We feel so good. We're in this together.
We're like the same person, different hair color.
It's just good to have like-minded people that are ready to take advantage of the opportunities, and we're not going to let it slip. We're all building our own legacy, and when we get in the ring, you guys are going to see something special.
Rolando Romero and Ryan Garcia, who have shared sparring rounds in the past, are now training side by side with mutual respect, pushing and supporting each other's growth every single day.
Like that.
Mario Barrios remains confident, highlighting his experience and longer tenure in the ring while insisting he holds every advantage over Ryan Garcia heading into this fight.
That I have coming to this fight is just overall just like everything. You know, my experience, you know, who I've been in the ring with, who I faced. I think, you know, the boxing IQ, I think I have that on my side. You know, heart. I think, yeah.
He does have experience, more experience.
Max Kellerman and Robert Garcia offered candid reactions to the announcement of Ryan Garcia versus Mario Barrios, focusing more on Ryan's training situation than his natural talent. They noted that Garcia is currently working with his father rather than established trainers like Eddie Reynoso, Derek James, or Joe Goosen. Robert Garcia acknowledged that Ryan's father built his strong amateur foundation, so the experience is legitimate, but he questioned why Garcia cycled through multiple elite coaches before returning home. In his view, that pattern raises concerns about structure and authority within the camp.
I'm not saying the dad is not, you know, the dad brought him through the amateurs, but when he left his dad or went to seek a different trainer, before he came back to that, he went through 3 different trainers. Wow. That means what do you mean? All 3 are not good enough to, you know, they're all 3 are the best in the world.
Here's the question. Did Ryan Garcia ever allow those trainers to be the boss?
That's why he's back with his dad, because he's the boss. That's why.
Yeah.
Look, Joe Goosen, I know Joe Goosen. My brother used to train with him. He's not gonna just let you get away with stuff like that. Derek James shouldn't either. Eddie Reynoso doesn't need. He's made so much money with Canelo that if you want to come to me, it's gonna be under my rules. And if that didn't work, then Ryan's back. So that's I give that big.
Kellerman raised a critical point about discipline, questioning whether Garcia ever truly allowed those respected trainers to take full control, since elite coaches demand structure, accountability, and consistency. Fighters cannot simply decide what they feel like doing each day. Robert Garcia added that trainers like Eddie Reynoso or Derek James already work with world champions and will not lower their standards for anyone. If a fighter struggles to accept that leadership, progress becomes difficult. Both analysts suggested that this instability could hand Mario Barrios an advantage. Barrios is known for disciplined preparation, physical size, and solid ring experience, and the structure within each camp could ultimately shape the outcome of the fight.
To even pull that off.
See, that's the thing about boxing, and Big Baby Miller pointed it out, because there's no structure. And hopefully that'll happen with Zuffa Boxing, and I am a part of Zuffa Boxing, full disclosure. You know, the first fight coming up on the 23rd.
Oh, congrats, Max. Congrats.
But you need some kind of.
On that card,
there you go.
Good.
You need some kind of.
Right.
So the undercard has not been announced yet, but yeah, we could talk about
what he's names, but yeah.
But we need some kind of structure. In the NFL, the guy has to sit there for the media interview. He shows up on time. Yep. He's got to do it. Yep. And to give you an NFL analogy, think about the Broncos, right? When they had Russell Wilson over there and he had his own office and everything, and it was nothing. It was dysfunctional. Then they hired Sean Payton.
Cut it out.
As a coach, that's like going to train with Goosen or going to train with a world-class trainer, right? And you knew as soon as Sean Payton got there, ain't no one's going to have their own office. And you turn around a couple years later.
Boxing analyst Wade Plemons offered a thoughtful take on the upcoming clash between Ryan Garcia and Mario Barrios. He posed the timeless question: does a coach make the fighter, or does the fighter make the coach? Plemons highlighted Joe Goosen's extensive experience as a respected trainer and his ability to shape fighters, noting that Barrios is now working under him. The analyst questioned whether the veteran coach could offer new tools or insights that Barrios hadn't already received from Bob Santos. Plemons also emphasized the intrigue of Garcia's confidence, suggesting that Ryan believes he already knows what Barrios and his team plan to do in the ring.
Interesting answer. I always wonder who makes a fighter, right? Especially in boxing, combat sports. Is it a coach that makes the fighter or the fighter that makes the coach? Now, Joe Goosen has a track record of being a high-level boxing coach. We know that. But do coaches change for fighters, or do they implement what they know to fighters and fighters change for coaches? Because this will be the crux of what happens here. Can Joe Goosen, not to call Mario Barrios old, but can he teach an old dog new tricks? Can he give him something that Bob Santos hasn't? Sure. Can he give him more info about what Ryan likes to do? Absolutely. But will it be enough to prepare him for what Ryan knows that Joe knows? And how Joe trains fighters, and how Joe runs a camp, and how rigid he might be. And even that last part, Ryan's talking about information leaking maybe from Joe, or that Joe was leaking information about Barrios or about, I'm not sure who he was talking about Ryan, about Barrios, but
He even alluded to Garcia's claims of having inside knowledge about Barrios' preparation, though the true impact of that information remains uncertain. Ultimately, Plemons stressed that the fight isn't just about physical skill, it's also shaped by the coach-fighter relationship. Can Goosen introduce new strategies for Barrios, or will Garcia's familiarity with Goosen's methods give him the upper hand? The analysis highlights how experience, preparation, and the dynamic between coach and fighter could play a decisive role when Garcia and Barrios finally face off in the ring.
the chaos in the corner, or not maybe chaos, but kind of misdirection in the corner of the Manny Pacquiao fight, where Bob Santos is saying one thing and other cornermen are saying, that are, you know, a part of Mario's kind of OG team, are saying another. I think it's pretty well known that I would assume well known that Mario Barrios' dad used to train him, and I don't know if he was in the corner or it was somebody else, but there was a miscommunication, it seemed like, from even the people in the corner around the strategy of the Barrios fight, or what they wanted to do against Manny Pacquiao. And let's just say I heard from sources there were a lot of frustrations that came out of that fight with how Barrios went into that fight, how he performed in that fight, and how directions were listened to from either one side or the other. It felt like it was a bit of a confusing thing. So when you have that kind of a situation, you feel like you need to make a move. One person's going to get left out in the dust, and it's probably not someone that's either one, you're...
Ryan Garcia's trainer spoke with confidence about his fighters' discipline and weight management, insisting that this camp is completely different from previous ones. He explained that once Garcia locks in mentally, everything else naturally falls into place. Moving up to the 140 pounds division is both realistic and promising. He emphasized that Garcia can make the weight comfortably without sacrificing strength or energy.
Our strength and conditioning coach will lock it in, Ryan will lock it in, and we're back to 140. Solid. Now, that's a strong possibility. I'm not kidding you. I am not kidding you. And we talked about that.
It changes things.
Yeah, and I mean this. I mean this 100% sincerely, that we could make 140.
Because when you guys fought Haney, you guys were not necessarily you guys, but he was drinking, he was doing all these other things that...
Exactly, yeah. Forget about that and forget about the Rolly, because I'm telling you, that was not Ryan. This is Ryan. This is Ryan. You're going to see Ryan. This is going to be Ryan. And you're going to say, man, he looks good.
The trainer also acknowledged that during the Devin Haney fight camp, Garcia wasn't fully focused and let distractions impact his preparation. This time, however, his mindset is sharper and far more professional. He believes fans will notice a leaner frame, improved stamina, and explosive power on fight night. The team added that 147 pounds isn't far from 140, so dropping down without strict rehydration rules shouldn't be an issue. Overall, the message was clear: a disciplined and dedicated Ryan Garcia is back, stronger than ever, and ready to perform at his very best.
Far off from 140. So there's a strong possibility without rehydration calls, we could probably drop down to 140 with no problem.
And make the fight happen at 40 instead.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then you guys can rehydrate whatever you guys want from there.
I mean, you know, listen, this is another thing that I've been seeing, and this is kind of interesting, is that, yeah, you got to rehydrate, of course, absolutely. Now, how far you can rehydrate? I would love to be over 7-8 pounds. Some go 10, some go 12, some even go 15, you know, but they do rehydrate. But when you're in shape, in total fitness, I think the most you could hydrate is 7 or 8 pounds. I'm not kidding you. When you're in excellent...
Analysts caution fans against reading too much into the short training clips of Ryan Garcia circulating online. A 15-second highlight, or even a 1-minute montage, cannot accurately reflect a fighter's readiness for a full 12-round bout. These videos are carefully edited to showcase speed, power, and sharp combinations while hiding the harsher realities of camp, such as fatigue, weight cutting, and conditioning challenges. As a result, the footage often gives an incomplete picture.
10-second, 15-second clips, because Ryan very well could have had similar clips before the Rolly fight, but then he ends up losing to Rolly in New York. So for me, when I see sparring clips or brief edited clips online, I don't necessarily factor that in too much into what is to be the outcome. Because the fact of the matter is, for Mario Barrios, I haven't really seen many clips from him at all. So training footage is very selective by nature. You're usually going to see the best moments plucked out, highlights, specific drills, things that would make someone look good. It don't really tell the full story about conditioning, weight cutting, or readiness. But what it does or can give you is an overall, like a snapshot of where the fighter is mentally, physically. Ryan does look like he's in.
Analysts pointed out that Garcia looked impressive in similar training clips before his loss to Rolando Romero in New York, yet the result inside the ring told a very different story. This example shows that highlights alone cannot predict fight outcomes. In contrast, very little training footage of Mario Barrios has emerged, making direct comparisons even harder. Still, the clips provide a glimpse into Garcia's mindset. He appears focused, fit, and fully committed to his preparation. Mentally and physically, he seems sharper than before. However, Barrios remains a respected and experienced welterweight, known for his durability and size. Ultimately, these snippets are merely observations, not guarantees. The real answers will come on fight night, when preparation meets reality and both fighters must prove themselves in the ring.
Much looking forward to the fight. I think Ryan Garcia really needs to impress here because he's coming off of a loss to Rolando Romero. And we all know in the world of boxing that back-to-back losses can really drive you down the ladder. So I am enjoying what I'm seeing regarding Ryan Garcia as he gears up for this particular fight. Ryan Garcia, his discipline has been in question in the past, but right now it looks like he's trying to really make a statement. He posted this via his official social media. This is Ryan's page, evident by the blue check mark. Quote, "Maybe you aren't..."
Greatness in boxing is measured not just by victories, but by legacy. If Ryan Garcia captures a world title, the sport gains a recognizable figure capable of captivating fans both inside and outside the boxing world. Analysts argue that sustaining boxing's relevance in 2026 and beyond requires marquee matchups, great names facing great names, fighters whose identities connect with audiences. A win over Mario Barrios would energize younger generations and shine a renewed spotlight on American boxing.
Garcia does become a world champion. It just makes it more interesting. Legacy reigns supreme. I said the last year that coming into 2026, to sustain the sport of boxing, to captivate the imagination, the emotions, and the interest of the boxing fans and casuals outside of the sport of boxing, we need the names versus the names. Relevant versus relevant. We need people that people recognize. We need the fans to recognize these names, and they will be interested. Ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Garcia beating Mario Barrios is good for the sport of boxing. It's good for these young generations because let's be real, let's be honest. Mario Barrios is not going to cut it in keeping the interest of the sport of boxing. He hasn't done it. He's been in big fights, and he have not seized the moment. No, you Dennis Ugas, yeah, but it didn't seize the moment. We need interest. Ladies and gentlemen, American boxing is dying. A lot of people's not investing in American boxing. Let's be
Barrios, despite his experience, has often struggled to capitalize on defining moments in past high-profile fights. Garcia, on the other hand, carries mainstream appeal capable of drawing casual fans and investors back into the sport. Recent trends show that for boxing to thrive, marquee matchups must take center stage, and fighters with recognizable names and star power, like Garcia, are essential for reigniting passion and investment in American boxing.
Netflix is just going to give you this events here and there. Maybe they'll give us Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao too. But at the end of the day, everybody has abandoned American boxing, and the only way we get these investors back into the American landscape, we got to do what we did out there at Madison Square Garden, New York City, this past weekend when we saw Shakur Stevenson beat Teofimo Lopez. Sold out crowd. Why it was a sold out crowd? Because it was name versus a name. People recognize both names, tri-state area, right? Teofimo Lopez never did it sold out or even come close to selling out a big arena. Shakur Stevenson didn't come close to selling out even